Colin Cowherd went up there and basically said that, you know, why would Caleb want to go to Chicago? Caleb and his camp don't want to go to Chicago. You know, the commander go get him. And I knew it was bullshit from the jump, just because, number one, and this is no disrespect to Colin Cowherd, he gets paid what, $6 million a year. Obviously, he's good at his job. So I'm not saying that, but there are actual YouTube videos of like 30 minutes of Colin getting shit wrong. And the way he said it, which I always say, when you see clicks or headlines, read the article or listen to the video. I know I'm asking for a lot in today's headline is true society. I get that. But it just sounded like he was just, you know, just speculation. Like, I don't really know that. And I didn't take it seriously also because of what Ian Rappaport said when the day that Caleb declared. He's looking forward to be on whatever team drafts him. So then 6-7 to score, Danny Parkins and them, they hyped this bitch up to the point where Parkins is like having a complete meltdown, thinking about the possibility of him, like he was melting down live on air. Like it was like you could tell
he was about to cry.
Yeah, this was not no media shit. This was his actual inner Bears fan freaking out. Like, oh my God. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be like this. And I was just like, it just didn't make any sense. So, and then Colin Cowherd, Caleb's family, Caleb's daddy, called him like, yo, nigga, we ain't say that shit. Like, check them. Like, look, we're not anti-Chicago. We are cool with Chicago. And then on top of that, shout out to Aaron Fleming. He said the same thing. And then Ian Rappaport liked the tweet of his original tweet from when Caleb Williams declared. And then he responded to Aaron Fleming and said, why would he hate Chicago? It's a great city. They've got a new foundation. They're building stuff. They ended the year right. They could have won 10 games. Woo. So as this conversation we've been having with Bang and with Dante about, you know, trying to get rid of the way the Bears used to run and maybe having the possibility that maybe this is the new Bears. It's kind of like I feel like a lot of Bears fans have been clashing. I want to give it to Dante first because he hasn't really said much yet about what you think about the Colin thing and just like any kind of hesitation that Bears fans may have of jumping all the way in the deep end.
As for Colin, Colin is great at one thing, riling people up. This is the same man who tried to shit on John Wall and talked about his father because the man liked to do the Dougie before he came on the court. Like, Colin has been doing this for years, and he's great at it. That's why he gets paid $6 million a year, because he knows what he's doing. He said that with not a source in fucking sight, but he knew once he said that because of the history. And that's the thing. People can sell you some bullshit when they tie some truth to it. So everything he said about the Bears was very true. We've never developed a quarterback. We've never had a great quarterback. You know, Jay Cutler is the best quarterback in franchise history, so that says a lot. But at the same time, everything he was saying was strictly speculation and him trying to connect the dots. Like, we've been doing this really since LeBron left Cleveland. But now every time it's a superstar athlete, we love to have that, you know, going home story. Everybody always brings that shit up. When in reality, when you talk to most athletes, they say, bro, I don't want to play at home. I got 1,000 ticket requests every fucking game. I got people who I haven't talked to in years coming out the woodwork saying, hey, bro, welcome home. Let me get this. Let me get that. So that's all Colin was. But as far as Caleb, Bears fans, listen to me. I've come on here for weeks and told you how I feel about Justin Fields. It's over. It's done. Embrace it. Accept it. I'm not just saying that because, you know, I want to move on from Justin. The reality is we're in an amazing position. You have the opportunity to draft someone who has been heralded as generational since he was 14 years old. You know, this is somebody they've been saying he's going to be a first-round pick, a Heisman Trophy winner. It's time to be realistic about it. Like, as much as I think Justin can succeed, as much as we want to harp on how, they fed him a raw deal. They didn't build an offensive staff around him. We've been saying this for years. The business side matters, and they're going to go after their guy. And so now Poles is in a position where, I just built this amazing offensive staff, but am I really going to take this amazing offensive staff I just built and put it on the guy that's been here for 3 years when I can go out with the number 1 pick and get an extremely talented player that's compared to another extremely talented player that I helped scout? So when you in this position, last year, I'm not going to say we got lucky because, you know, CJ Stroud and all of that, even though I don't think we just flat out skipped him. But you're at a point now, Ryan Poles is risking his job by passing on Caleb Williams. Like he could potentially lose his job if he goes another year where you pass on the #1 pick and the quarterback comes out and he's the guy while your quarterback is still trying to figure it out. So Caleb, it's a matter of time, bro. Like I said, we threw the Drake made shit out there, and that's just typical Bears PTSD, and it makes sense. I wouldn't either, but at the same time, I'm at the point now where it's Caleb. When you hear everybody outside of Chicago talk about this, they say, bro, this is a no-brainer. You get what you can for Justin, you maximize that, and you go get a quarterback. You go get the guy.
But see, this is why I'm not making no true decisions until the combine is over. Because, as I said before, the combine is going to tell it all. And the combine is not just what you do in the shorts and throwing around, it's what you do in those meetings. And I'm not ruling anything out because you don't want to say right now, don't draft me. You ain't even talked to these niggas yet. Caleb might talk to the Bears, have these meetings, and be like, so these niggas really don't got no plan. Shit, Huff, I know I worked with Shane before, but no, I don't trust these niggas with my career. And then say it. Or he might be like, yo, nah, this is the shit for me. I can really own this city. We don't know. And we're not going to know too much of that until after the combine. That's going to tell it all. Right now, we in content is king mode. We're in everybody got to take. Everybody wants to say something, and everybody wants to do that. And I am already over that. I might love Justin, but I already said it's common. I was one of the first to say, nah, it's common sense. Because money-wise,
you and Mikey, honestly, were the first one. It took me and Don a while to.
Right. Because common sense-wise,
I'm still not there 100%.
Yeah, he's still not that 100%.
You still holding on to that final.
The money situation with the Bears, you could go get him, trade Justin, and you could go upgrade your team a bit more on the defensive side and still draft people. I just believe that it ain't all set in stone with Caleb. I still believe Caleb can pull an Eli Manning and say, nah, I'm straight. But again, we're talking after season over, after college season over, it's Super Bowl time. It's the week before the Super Bowl. So we already know ain't shit going on. So it's going to be a lot of conversations there. But once we get to the end of the month, once we get to the combine, once he gets on the scale, once we get the height measurements and all of that stuff, once he gets on the NFL Network and have a conversation with Rich Eisen, and Rich Eisen say, man, so what do you think about the Bears being the #1 pick? And if he don't say, I'm telling y'all now, if he don't say, oh, man, I welcome the chance of becoming the quarterback of Chicago Bears. It's a legacy franchise. You know, I have a chance to do great things in Chicago. I heard the food is great. Downtown is lovely. If he don't say that, all of y'all niggas is going to be like this. So do he really want to come in? Do he really want to come in? And then all them niggas on sports radio going to be like, so he never said that he wanted to come. And then that's going to start this shit all over again. I don't want to hear that shit.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I just think that's a hint of Bears PTSD. Do I think that they haven't legally spoken to Caleb Williams? I don't buy they haven't spoken to Caleb Williams at all. Like, I
can tell you it's not it's not Bears PTSD. It's not, because I don't really have Bears PTSD when it comes to this, because we've never had the #1 pick in this way. Like, we had the #1 pick and we traded it. I've never lived in a situation where the Bears have the #1 pick and can pick the legit best player available in this situation. What I'm saying is, but I'm not talking about my PTSD. I'm talking about all these other niggas' PTSD. When he don't say anything, then they're gonna be on sports radio and they're gonna be like,
I don't think he will. be real with you, I don't think he will. I
Yeah.
don't think that's how Caleb and his pops roll. I'm not expecting for him to.
That's
I
leverage.
love
That's
deep
what's called
speeds.
leverage.
Yeah, I don't. I think he's gonna play the field. That's what I personally think.
Yeah,
But
and this is my thing, because we talked about this in the chat when I said I'm 97% in on the Caleb thing. My only 3% is holding out for an extremely desperate team to see him light it up at this pro day and say, "Hey, bro, we'll give y'all 3 first-round picks
Bingo.
and a starter." Like that's it. Other than that, I think Cole, like, yo, I'm in a position where I can do that. But that's the only other way I see this going, other than Caleb Williams being the number 1 pick.
And we'll talk about the Godfather offer in overtime. That's going to be part of the overtime rundown on Patreon. But I will say this, and then we'll move on. I don't want to sound like I'm drinking the Ryan Poles Kool-Aid, pause, too much. But like, I just feel like that he knows this shit already. Like, this is something where it's not like if we could talk about Drake, man, things like that. It's not really a debate on who the number 1 guy is in this. I feel like he's done his research. They've had his number 1 pick for about a month and a half now. He's been doing his research. I don't believe, he went to LA. He came to LA. He was doing his research. I feel like there was any type of nervousness or whatever from the Williams camp that would have been out there. And also on top of that, it took Caleb Williams a long time to actually declare. Remember, his father said we're still trying to get things in order. So that part in the press release where he says we're open to anything wouldn't have been in there if there was any type of shakiness. And they've known that the Bears were probably going to have the number 1 draft pick for a long time. And I think that I'm not saying y'all to. I think the overall thing that from people who don't follow the team or national media heads, they keep bringing up stuff that the Bears used to do, or they don't develop quarterbacks. And even the thing with Justin got stuck in between regimes. So I'm going to move that to the side real quick. How many quarterbacks have the Bears had that were actually skilled in the way that the Caleb Williams is that they ruined? So I feel like there needs to be a little asterisk with that conversation. That's what I'm saying. Like, they haven't. It's also the first time they've had the number 1 draft pick, like, in this position, like, ever. So that's why, like, not to say that I disagree.
Like since like the beginning of the NFL. Like,
yeah, like I'm not saying people disagree, because but I'm just saying maybe, and this is maybe just my optimism speaking. That could be it too. Maybe this is just a new era of the Bears. One thing we've seen since Ryan Poles here, he's calculated, and like, he's made some mistakes, obviously, but this 2 years in, he's had more hits than misses. And then even we talk about like presentation, or when we know when Caleb on the record talks to Ryan Poles and Kevin Warren, those niggas are great interview type niggas. So like, their presentation will be good. Now, whether they follow up or not is a different deal, but this is also not this is not the average rookie situation. He's coming into a situation with a team that already has a number 1 wide receiver. Usually you see these teams, like, remember a quarterback like Josh Allen, who took 4 years to like get better. You know what I'm saying? They needed to get him receiver. When you needed Jalen Hurts to get better, they went to go get AJ Brown. That shit's already here. This is going to be probably the best situation we've seen for a rookie in a long time. So even then, like, why would you want to go? And like you said, a lot of players don't want to go home. Why would he want to go DC? There's a reason that Ben Johnson didn't go to DC. I don't think that Daniel Snyder stank is off that organization.
I can say this. I can say this from my DC group chat, from a lot of people that are in the industry and are around a lot of people. They had already told me, like, when the season started, he don't want to go back to the crib. He don't want to go to the crib. He'd rather stay out west before he go back to, the DMV. So
and that's that too. And we'll be talking about this a lot. That's just my thing. My advice to Bears fans is don't believe everything you hear over these next 2 months. And we're gonna learn a lot from doing the combine. I haven't been to the combine, but what I heard from the combine from Rich Eisen, shout out my man Lotto, they said that's gossip central. NFL combo is basically, girl, let me tell you, in NFL form.
Yes.
That's it.
Fam.
All the dirt.
Yeah. I ain't never been to the combine either.
But the stories I've heard,
I know people who've been to the combine. I probably could finesse a trip to the combine because one of my markets is Indianapolis, and I know our sports station is going to be there. But yes, it is phone. It is phone, like the party. What's that? The party club.
They drink. They drink a lot.
It's that shit. It's
yeah.
oh man.
But this is also why I feel like that talk is really just going to intensify because you're already starting to hear it at the fucking Senior Bowl. Now, granted, Senior Bowl isn't the level of the combine, but you still have GMs there. And from every shout out all the Chicago Bears media who actually there. Shout my man Nicholas Mariano, you know, everybody out there. They keep saying from the word of my mouth, they're like, it's not a fucking decision. Like it's starting to heat up more and more. And yes, there's going to be roadblocks to the actual destination. Nobody in Chicago is going to breathe anything until April 25th, 2024. And Roger Goodell goes on that motherfucking podium and he says, number one pick in the NFL draft, Chicago Bears select quarterback Caleb Williams from the University of Southern California. Nobody's going to exhale until that. Even when the Justin Fields trades happen. And I believe that happening right either during the combine or maybe as soon as the private jet leaves the Indianapolis airport, that Justin Fields is going to be gone. Even that don't mean anything, because then it's going to be like, well, does that mean that they're going to take Caleb? So it's going to be a long 2 months. As a media guy, I love it because it gives us content. Shit, we just talked for 35 minutes about this shit. But as a sports fan and a nigga that hate clickbait shit, it's going to drive me up a fucking wall.
That paper on display, haters, old news, money on the other line.